Todd Howard says Fallout 76 is very popular, had a huge release, and is now a fabulous game.
It was a huge release for us, a fabulous game.
Todd Howard is a liar, pants on fire. Todd Howard recently sat down with IGN's Ryan McCaffrey for his first interview since the launch of the critically panned Fallout 76. He said some very insightful things during the interview, which we're going to break down right here. Some of it may lead us to understand a little bit better how Bethesda think, what they will learn from this, and might give us some clues as to what to expect from the upcoming Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. He explained that he was always expecting Fallout 76 to have a rough launch.
We knew we were going to have a lot of bumps. That's a difficult development.
Unfortunately for Todd, the reviews get written at launch and they're set in stone. Rarely do games get re-reviewed afterwards. The game now sits at a lowly 52% rating on Metacritic, making it arguably the worst game Bethesda has ever made. However, he does have a little bit of humility and admits that the game got very well-deserved criticism.
This is not the type of game that people are used to from us, and we're going to get some criticism on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that very well-deserved criticism.
And he explained what he would do differently next time.
Well, the main takeaway we had was you got to let it bake with a large live audience for longer than we did. You know, if there's one thing that we could have, I think I would have done differently, is find a way to let at scale people be playing the game 24/7 before you say, you know, everybody in, here you go, pay us.
One of the biggest grievances from players at launch was how Bethesda could release a game in such a broken state. Bethesda are known for their broken games at launch, but even by their standards, Fallout 76 was bad. Saying that he should have tested the game more before taking people's money for it is a good indication, but somehow we're still not convinced. When he was asked what impact the game had on Bethesda's reputation, he said the following.
I'm sure it's had some. It would be naive to say it's had zero, right? But I think if people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Unfortunately, with so many new games coming out so often these days, and just like the reviewers, players will move on to other games and not look back.
If you look at a Skyrim and Fallout 4, those things, the amount of people that play those games still is... I mean, you can look it up on this. It's staggering.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of people every month playing those games, and we have no touch point with them. 76 was also, we need to learn how to be engaging and being able to update and see what players are doing and like be more engaged in that experience than zero.
And I think for me, this is the crux of how Bethesda are thinking these days. Engagement, right? He's analysing Skyrim and Fallout 4, and he's seen all these players, millions of players per month still play these games, and we never touch base with them. We don't engage with them at all. So what we need to do, in his mind, he needs to increase engagement with Fallout 76. That's the idea. That's why he's bringing Fallout 76, in order to increase what? Microtransactions, right? We need to increase engagement. Why are you doing that? Like, question, why is he doing that? He's doing increased engagement, which is going to have a knock-on effect of increasing his wages. Skyrim's got 93% on Metacritic or whatever. That game was fine. Why are you building Fallout 76 to increase engagement when it gets panned by reviewers and will forever be one of the worst games that you've ever made, just to increase engagement? Oh, well, that was a good decision, that, Todd. Well done, dude. He's probably doing it so he can increase the opportunities that people have to pay for microtransactions, or increase the likelihood that people pay for microtransactions, therefore increasing the likelihood that he makes more money off a game in the longer tail.
It's almost like he's saying, I wish we put microtransactions in Skyrim and Fallout 4 because they're so popular. I almost wish we could have manipulated how people were so engaged in that compared to how they're not engaged in Fallout 76.
Well, they tried to add them in after the fact with the paid mods and stuff with Fallout 4, and oh my god, they got some backlash with that. It's not paid mods, but it is paid mods, but it's not paid mods. Ridiculous. And also they're backtracking again with Fallout 76 now. They did promise that there would be only cosmetic microtransactions. Pete Hines said it in 2 separate occasions. Only cosmetic, no game-changing microtransactions. However, they have just introduced game-changing microtransactions in the form of pay to skip. So you've got these weapon repair kits, is what they're called, in case you were wondering. Weapon repair kits, right? So what they did was they nerfed the weapons a couple of months before in anticipation of this, so the weapons degrade quicker, and then lo and behold, we've got this solution for you. All you've got to do is pay for the weapon repair kit, and you can be out in the field having more fun. It's this kind of thing that is completely rotten away AAA games production at the moment, and it's the biggest plague on the industry since loot boxes. Now loot boxes are taking a downturn. These types of microtransactions, they get away with it because nobody sees the outrage, and people justify it all the time. It's only cosmetic. It's not that bad. We need to stand up against it. This is what it's doing to our games.
I feel like I've said barely anything there, but it's because you've said it all.
I know.
You've vented it all out, and
it's close to my heart because I do like Fallout. It's one of my favorite games ever. Right, and then when it comes to Fallout 76, it was such a letdown. It just feels like a closed door for me now. I don't feel like I can enjoy them in the way that I have done in the past, and it's a passing of a.
It's just a shame.
It's a shame. And the worst part for me is that he's CEO, he's the managing dude of Bethesda, right? He lies to people's faces and expects us to believe him at the same breath. It's like, this game the launch was huge, it's a very popular game, and it's a fabulous game now. He says them three things in this interview, and then he says, we've got some awesome content coming up. How do you believe him when you know that he's lying to your face like that? It's about trust, right? And if he's bullshitting you, and the same breath as he's trying to sell you the games, you come back to the game. Honestly, guys, it's awesome. You've had your chance, Todd. Fuck off. I could never be a CEO.
No.
You'd never be a CEO. I haven't got the language of bullshit. Do you know what I mean? You need the certain gift of the gab, the certain bullshittery, the skills in bullshittery. I haven't developed them yet.
It's the smile as well, the old
smile while you're lying to thousands of people. It's a skill. Well done, Todd.
But enough of that Fallout 76 negativity. Let's get much better with the daily news nuggets. First up in the news nuggets today, we have newly leaked info about the long-rumoured Fable 4 said to be in development by Playground Games. The leak, which includes story details on how the game is a completely open world with multiplayer built in the Unreal Engine, is a first or third person, has an in-depth character creator, and includes time travel. There was apparently leaked footage of the game that got pulled so quickly by Microsoft that no trace of it even remains. However, we are expecting the official announcement to come at E3 with some rock-solid info.
Technology entrepreneur and meme connoisseur Elon Musk has confirmed that Cuphead will be coming to Tesla cars. Speaking on the Tesla podcast, which is a thing apparently, he said that the game will be coming to the Model 3, Model S and Model X. I'm not sure that playing a game which Musk himself describes as sadistically hard is the best thing to be doing while driving, but when you're the wealthiest South African in the world with a net worth of $17.9 billion US, you can kind of do what you like.
The latest video game IP tapped for a Netflix animated adaptation is Magic the Gathering. The adaptation for the popular card game is being made by Bardell Entertainment, who are behind Rick and Morty and Teen Titans Go, and will have Anthony and Joe Russo as executive producers. It will also feature the talents of writers Henry Gilroy from Star Wars Rebels and The Clone Wars, and Jose Molina from The Tick and Agent Carter.
In addition to revealing their Avengers title and giving more info on the Final Fantasy VII remake at E3, we should expect to see a brand new IP at the Square Enix show. A Twitter page named Outriders has been cryptically teasing a new sci-fi project featuring someone in cryostasis. The final line of the latest tweet mentions Square Enix's showcase at E3 on Monday, June the 10th at 6 PM Pacific time, or that's 2 AM on Tuesday morning in the UK, and we'll find out more then.
Shenmue 3, the upcoming action-adventure game by Nilo and EastNet, has suffered a 3-month delay. The release is now set for November 19th this year, which was pushed back from when it was expected on August the 27th. Yu Suzuki and Deep Silver explained that the game simply needs a little more refinement. Well, it has been 18 years since Shenmue 2, I guess we can wait a few more months.
Blood and Truth, the first-person VR shooter from Sony, is the first ever VR title to hit the top of the UK physical games charts. The game has been a hit so far with fans and critics alike, and these will be welcome headlines for Sony considering how hard they've been pushing VR recently. Not to rain on Sony's parade, but Team Sonic Racing also made number 1 in the UK physical charts last week, but only to make 13th position in the same week in the first ever UK digital charts. All these people saying, who buys physical these days anyway, in our comments every single time we run one of these types of stories. They're all validated now.
Yep. There you go. Every single time it comes
You
up.
told us so.
The first major update for Saber Interactive's World War Z is out now, and it's titled The Undead Sea. The update continues the Tokyo campaign of the game and adds a new zombie type, as well as general tweaks like private lobbies, FOV sliders, mid-match loadout changes, and bot options. The update is available now and is completely free, thanks to the commercial success of the game.
Google will be hosting a new Stadia event on June the 6th, ahead of E3 this year. The live-streamed presentation is called Stadia Connect, but it's unclear what specific things they will talk about. Google have previously hinted at games like Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption coming to the platform, so maybe we'll get to see how those run.
Luckily, EA don't make navigation devices, or there would be a lot of people going nowhere fast. On the Anthem website, what was once a roadmap for the game has been deleted, and is now more of a collection of visions for the future with no actual dates. Pulling the rug from under paying customers like this is nothing to be surprised about in this modern industry where players are expected to pay now and play later.
Do they have gaming news nuggets for today? Anything that we've just discussed can be found in links in our description. If you want to go check out any of those stories, you can find the links down there. Now it's time to do a joke.
So these jokes come in from our Discord channel, which you get access to if you become a patron over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. For as little as $1, you'll also get access to the podcast, was it 2 whole days earlier than the rest of the peasantry public. Blah.
Plebs.
Yeah, that. Plebeians. This one is from Superflea. What do you call a negative Mexican? A Mexicant.
Mexicans.
Huh?
Mexicans for all you non-Southerners, right?
Yeah.
Cant.
I mean, but a Mexicant doesn't work, so it's got to be Mexicant. Otherwise, it's just not funny.
Right. Is it funny at all?
Okay. No, I'm not sure, but that's the point.
It's a bad joke.
It's a bad joke.
Yeah. We'll let him off. Thanks, Flea.
To quote Jason Schreier, it wouldn't be the week before E3 without a big Ubisoft leak. And he's absolutely right, as we've learned of yet another Watchdogs 3 leak. This one, which Schreier himself has published, confirms some of the information in previous leaks and adds some new details. The leak, which originally came from Amazon in a now deleted product listing, says that the next Watchdogs title will be called Watchdogs Legion. The leak also confirms again that the game will be set in London, which is something we've been hearing from numerous sources for a while. The more interesting part of the leak is that you will supposedly be able to take control of any NPC within the game. On Twitter, Schreier described this as ambitious and wild, and that it has led to at least one delay. According to the now deleted Amazon page, which was quoted by Reset Era users, play as anyone. Every individual you meet in the open world has a full set of animations, voiceover, character traits, and visuals that are generated and guided by gameplay systems. Now, I'm not sure it's really an NPC anymore, because the non-player character you
actually becomes playable.
Exactly.
So it's a PC.
It's a player character.
We know the Watchdogs franchise has always been PC.
He also suggests that there will be no appearance from the Splinter Cell franchise at E3, which many fans were hoping for. I think people hoping for Splinter Cell this year are in for disappointment.
It doesn't say it's not been worked on, just says it's not coming this year, right?
Yeah, well, you never know.
Wording's very important there.
Despite this information being leaked publicly before Schreier even posted his findings on Kotaku, he's received criticism for spoiling the announcement. But then on the other side of things, people have complained that he doesn't share the information he already has on currently unannounced projects, such as Rocksteady's next title. He retweeted a lengthy Reddit post he made from December last year, which explains his policy when it comes to handling leaked information. In the post, he confirms that he is 90% sure on what the game is, but doesn't consider it newsworthy. Now that's a kind of a key point, because it all comes down to whether or not he's going to leak it or not, is if he thinks it's newsworthy and his superiors over at Kotaku. But it's all news. But I suppose I'm with him in that waiting for the right moment, because if it's just, oh, this is a thing that's happening, there's no discussion to be had around it. It's just, oh, okay, there's that, cool. But if you wait a little bit, you get a little bit more information, and yeah, you might miss the boat on getting there absolutely first, but you still have the information, so you can still be right there at the front of the race with all the other outlets.
Essentially, he's just considering ruining someone else's announcement of the game. if Rocksteady want to announce a game in a certain way, it's, they're a company, they want to pitch a product, they want people to like that product when they first hear about it and see it, because, impressions are everything, first impressions are everything. If he ruins it by just, this is what the game is, then, it could impact that business and how profitable that business is if people don't get the right first impression. Let's think of Fallout 76. He did exactly the same Fallout 76, announcing that it was a multiplayer-only survival RPG before Bethesda did. But the reason he did that was because they opened pre-orders on like a 1 minute trailer where you didn't have any information for the game at all, and it implied that it was like maybe a single player game like all the other Fallout games were. No, this was an online game. People were paying for a pre-order on the game before even knowing what it was. So that's his reason behind doing that. But I just like the idea of him just sitting there like, I know what the games are. I know what all the games are. Sitting there smugly thinking, well, you're just gonna have to wait because I'm the important one. I'm Jason Schreier, and you're not.
I reckon he's got like a top hat full of little bits of paper with unannounced game titles on. He just fishes in and says, oh look, it's GTA 6. The world's not ready for this.
Yeah. Or every time it's a slow news day, he just fishes in. It's like, what can we write about today?
There was a bit of an argument on the Twitter thread about whether or not this is spoiling the announcement, or whether he's getting ahead of things and kind of controlling fake hype, because the games industry likes to generate hype as much as anything else does, but because the games industry is so secretive by comparison to, say, the films industry, generally speaking, but games industry, everything's under like super tight lock and key, won't tell anyone anything. And I think more transparency is needed in the games industry because the consumer often just doesn't know anything about what we're getting.
That's true. On the same note, games development is a different process because games go through iterations, and sometimes very early concept for a game might not end up anything like the final pitch of the game. So releasing information too early on the game might disappoint a lot of fans down the line when they find that the game has changed from the early concepts. But it's two different industries. I think it's easier in the movie industry because you've got a film which a script gets written and then you stick to that script, and then there's not a lot that changes. But it is a debate to be had. Should Jason Schreier release everything he knows, goddammit, because we want to know what their Rocksteady game is, or just take your time and get a proper announcement in there, Rocksteady. Get a good game and let's see the trailer. Let's see some proper hot, rock solid information. Get it, Rocksteady?
Bad.
Not good, but not bad.
Personally, I don't like it when I go through like a week and it's just leak after leak after leak. I'm like, there's no nice little mystery here of like, ooh, what's this mysterious black fog trailer, and then I get a logo at the end. But then I'm also like, just give me the information.
Well,
Stop flapping around.
It's exactly what we've got this week, right? Leading up to E3, everyone's got leaks, which is what this piece was. I would rather just watch E3 and experience it all firsthand and not know anything about any of the leaked games. You can experience the announcement as the developer intended or the publisher intended, and that that's a good thing, right?
And a lot of the time you can just, not always, because sometimes the headline is like Watchdogs 3 leak is in London. That gives you all the information. But if it's like a game you are expecting is coming and it just says Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines leak, you can just ignore it because we know that's announced. So you can just leave it alone and you don't have to read it. And if you read it, then you're spoiling it for yourself and it's your problem.
You don't have to click on those YouTube videos. Amazing new leak info. Huge announcement.
2077 with a half-naked girl on the cover because that's what gets clicks.
Yeah, we'd never do anything like that.
Don't bite. That's why it's clickbait. Just don't do it.
We wouldn't do those videos. So there you have your gaming news roundup for today. Links to everything that we discussed down in the description. If you want to support our content, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, click the belly thing, or head over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming where you can drop as little as $1 a month to get early access to the Patreon podcast as well as access to the Discord. I've been Gareth Evans. That's been Mr. Henry Cooper, and we will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.
I was really trying not to laugh because you said click the belly thing. So I was just imagining this like subscribe.